Okay, so now what we're going to do is start the foot, and you see how I have mine laid out just to demonstrate for you. You're going to add back your red, and what you're going to do is I'm going to pick my piece up now and look at it. It looks like a triangle at this point. And starting here at this corner, you're going to count, and you got to be careful about where you're placing your stitches here at these corners and where you're counting from. So you want to make sure that you skip the first 10 single crochet. So you want to start counting those 10 single crochet right here at this beginning corner. You don't want to start down here, but you want to start with the actual heel. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you want to join your color with a slip stitch, a chain 1, and a single crochet. So what you want to do there is you want to then single crochet in the next 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and what that's going to do is bring you to this very next corner if you're doing your calculations correctly. And if you have a problem seeing that last stitch, pull that tail out and that'll come right up for you right there. So that's your final and your 10th stitch. Now what you want to do next is you're going to skip the next 2 stitches of the actual stocking. So you're done here. Do not calculate anything else because there are no more stitches here. You went into that last stitch. And you're not going to count this stitch because this stitch is consumed by part of the heel. So you want to start counting these 2. So this stitch and this stitch is what you're going to skip. Then you want to go to that 3rd stitch and work 1 stitch. Make sure you pull that snug there, and that's going to be the start of your 17 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now if you did all those counts correctly, that will bring you up to those 2 last red stitches right here. You're going to skip those, and you're not calculating that stitch because it's connected to the heel. And then you're going to do 10 remaining stitches. So you're going to skip these 2 here, and you're going to go right up to that corner stitch and start with those last 10 just like we did on the other side. So you're going to single crochet into that corner and pull that snug. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that will give you a perfect row around. Okay, and that'll give you a total of 38 stitches around. So basically what we are going to do, and it doesn't state whether to join, but I'm going to actually join anyway. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn, and you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 a total of 5 more times. So what I would do is once you have started those rows, I would take a stitch marker and place it. That way you can keep a count, because you're going to actually have a total of and what it's talking about, rows 1 and 2, that means you're going to go back up to these rows right here, the single crochet and the double crochet row. So this was your single crochet row, so then you're going to do a double crochet row now. So you're going to chain 3, and then basically you're just going to start working a double crochet in each stitch around. And you can use a stitch marker if you need, or if you think you're fine without it, that's fine too. So basically you'll do a total of 10 rows, or it may be 11 rows because you have this extra row. I'm not sure. I'll have to get to the end and tell you then. It'll either be 10 or 11 rows total. So once you do this row, then you'll do a single crochet row, then you'll do another double crochet row. So you'll just keep repeating that back and forth 5 more times. And then once I have completed that, I'll meet you up at the last row. Alright, we are back. We have completed the foot part of our stocking. And what we were doing was we did a row of single crochet, then a row of double crochet. That gave us a total of 10 rows. And we ended with a double crochet row. Okay, so now for the toe part, which we're going to start where we left off here in the last or your beginning stitch, whichever you can classify that as. And you're going to keep going with your 5mm hook and with your B color now, which is my green. I'm going to join in the top of that beginning stitch with a slip stitch. Alright, and I'm going to chain 1, and that's going to act as our first stitch. And now what we're going to do is single crochet 2 together. Okay, so you're going to go into the next stitch available and just pull that loop up, go into the next stitch, pull that loop up, and you're going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, and now you're going to single crochet in the next 15 double crochet, and going over those tails as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now we're going to turn our work. You should have 17 single crochet at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then that chain 1 is right in there, so that is your 17th stitch. Now for the remaining part of your toe, you're going to continue in a single crochet, and you're going to decrease on each end until you have 3 stitches remaining. So chain up 1, go into that first stitch and pull up, the next stitch, pull up. You want to yarn over, pull through all 3. So you just decreased 2 stitches, made them into 1. And now you're just going to single crochet across. And if you're not familiar on how to decrease, it is very important in this pattern, as you've seen. You can go to my playlist of stitches and stitch patterns, and you can pull that tutorial up there. Okay, so make sure when you get to the end, it looks like you only have 2 stitches here, but you do have 3. So let's make sure to get to that very end, chain 1. So you're going to go into that second to the last stitch and pull up, and go into that chain 1 and pull up, and you're going to single crochet those together. Alright, now if we did this correctly and you decreased 1 on each side, you should have 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Very good. And now we'll turn we'll chain up one, and now we're just going to do that process again. So you're going to go into the first stitch, pull up, next stitch, pull up, yarn over, pull through all three. So now you've decreased those first two stitches. Now you're just going to single crochet across. In this row, if you had 15 on the last row, you should have 13 stitches by the time you're complete with this row, because you're decreasing 2 stitches per row, and you want to end up with that odd number at the end, which is 3. Oops. Okay. So I'm at the last 2 here, so I'm going to decrease these 2 now. So let's count these, make sure we have 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you are just going to continue in this fashion until you have 3 stitches remaining. So just chain up 1, go into the next stitch, pull up, go into the next stitch, pull up, and decrease. And then just single crochet across till you get to the end and decrease those 2, and then just continue this, and I will meet you back up. Okay, so the first part of our toe is complete. So once you have your 3 stitches that you've ended up with, you may fasten off here, weave in that end, and well, I did, and that little sucker come out right there, and clip your tails, and now you're going to do the same thing again, except this time you're going to start right here. You're going to start into that first stitch, not the stitch where this beginning green stitch began, but you're going to start in that next stitch. So you're going to take your green, or whatever color you're using, and go in there with a slip stitch. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do the same pattern that we did here. So go back up to the pattern part under the toe, and you're going to start working that same process. So you chained 1, then you're going to do 2 single crochet together. So go into the next stitch and pull up, the next stitch, pull up, and then you're going to pull those 2 together. And then you're going to work your 15 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. That should bring you to the last 2 stitches, so you want to single crochet those 2 together. Okay, and now mind you, there's going to be a couple places throughout here that you'll have to close up gaps, small gaps, and that's fine, and these corners will probably be one of them, so no worries there. So we are now going to turn, and again, you can clip your tails, and when they're sticking up like this, I generally like to go ahead and get rid of them. Put them in my little trash bucket. And you should have your 17 stitches again, so let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, okay? Now, you're going to do the same thing we did before. So chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet the first 2 stitches together. And you're going to single crochet across. All the way across. And once you get to those last 2 stitches, you will single crochet those last 2 together. Alright, so again, now you should have 15 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Alright, so now again, you are going to do this process until you have 3 stitches remaining. Okay, so you'll chain up 1, single crochet the first 2 stitches together, single crochet across. And when you get to the other end, you're just going to single crochet together the last 2 stitches. So the exact duplicate of the first part of the toe. So just go ahead and do this part until you have 3 stitches that remain, and I will rejoin you at that point. Alright, so now we have a matching end and end here, and now all we have to do is seam that. And I know you probably are not making very much sense of this stocking yet, but I have pretty much made some sense of it, and it's going to turn out just fine. So what we need to do at this point is we need to now seam some ends and make it a stocking. So basically what we are going to do now is we're going to do some seaming. We are going to close this. We are going, if you want to close these little holes here, that's fine, you can. If it doesn't bother you, by all means, don't even worry about it. So the main 2 are the toe, which you can seam in, if you want to be creative, do it. I could do mine in red, the opposite color. Basically this is what we're going to do at this point, is we are going to close these shut. So grab your needle and grab your yarn, and then we're just going to start closing our gaps here. Okay, so you're just going to start at the corner, and I'm just going to whip stitch mine closed and work all the way down. Once I'm complete with the red, I will work on the green, and I will see how that looks and see at that point how much more I need to seam up. Okay, so that's the point you're at now, is just closing up your gaps wherever they are, wherever they're located, and go from there. And then we'll move on to the top part of the stocking. Okay, so go ahead and seam up all of your parts, and once I have mine completed, I will meet you back up. Okay guys, we have our stocking completed, and I know it looks just a little strange right now, but we'll add the cuff and it will look very normal. But if you want to turn it inside out, that's your choice, you can. And if you stretch it out, and actually once it gets something in it and you turn it like this, it looks beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the top cuff. So we're going to set this aside, and you're going to hold on to that larger hook, which is your H hook, and then you're going to pick up your white or whatever color that it is that you're choosing to make the cuff out of. So now you're going to chain up 47, which is what I have already chained up, and then you're going to work a total of 11 rows of single crochet. So you'll go into that second stitch from your hook and work your first single crochet, and then you'll just work across the rows. Now mind you, 11 rows of single crochet. So yes, we will work these off camera. Nothing more than single crochet, so this is not going to be difficult. And once we get the 11 rows completed, you're going to fasten off, and then we will start the next part, which will be sewing the cuff seam. Okay, so just continue working. This is going to be your first of your 11 rows, and if you're not sure about counting rows of single crochet, you can use your stitch marker. You can move it up based on each row So make sure that you also, it doesn't say to do a chain 1, but I always do a chain 1 when I'm working single crochet rows, so that's up to you if you choose to just turn and go directly into your single crochet or not. I'm going to do a chain 1. It just makes it a nicer rounded edge, as I find that it does, and that's my opinion. So anyway, this is your first of 11 rows. Go ahead and complete your following 10, and as I do the same, I will meet you back up once I have all of mine completed. Alright, we are back. We have made 11 rows of single crochet. You now have to finish that off, thread through a yarn needle, and we are now going to fold this, and we are going to sew our cuff seam. Okay, so you want just enough yarn. Let me turn it this way. You want just enough yarn here in your needle just to whip stitch your seam together. Actually, let's do the wrong side together, because we're going to flip this inside out. So let's do that. My yarn is going to be ornery here. So instead of putting the right side here, let's do it this way. Yeah, this way. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're going to be flipping this inside out once you're done, so the seam is hid. Alright, so let's just whip stitch this very end across. So you want to make sure that your front sides are together. Front side and front side together. That way when we turn it inside out, the seam is on the inside and the two front sides are flipped out and looking very nice and professional. So just whip stitch all the way across. Shouldn't take no more than about 10 stitches at most, if that, depending on how much you're spreading those apart. Okay, one more for me, and upon finishing that last one, I'm going to put my hook into that loop, and I'm going to knot that up and pull that through. And then I'm just going to thread it in and out of that stitch work, which is actually going to just hide my yarn. And I'm just going to finish that off, and then I'm going to turn that inside out just like that. Okay, so that is your cuff part, and that is the completion of that part. Okay, we are going to work the second part of our cuff now. And what we're going to do is we're going to start using our 4mm hook, and you're going to start back with your C color, which is my white. And you're going to start with the right side up and working where your seam is at. You're going to join back into the top of this seam. So join that with a slip stitch. Okay, and once you get that joined in there, you want to do a chain 1, single crochet into the first 2 stitches. So 1, let's go back and do that in the first stitch there. 1 in the same stitch that you did the chain 1 in, and 2. Okay, and then you're going to skip the next stitch, which is here, and then you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and double crochet all in the next stitch. Then you're going to skip the next stitch, and then you're going to single crochet in the next. Okay, and that's what you're going to do for the repetitive pattern. So you want to skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, and double crochet all in that next stitch, skip the next, single crochet in the next. Okay, skip the next, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next. So it's like a double crochet V-stitch going on there. So you'll skip the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next, and do your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next. Okay, so you'll work that all the way around, and I will meet you up. Go ahead and slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet once you're all the way around and fasten off. Okay, so we have completed the bottom border of our cuff. Now all I did is I took the cuff and I slid it over the top here of the top of the stocking. Now before you do that, or you can do it afterwards, it really makes no difference, is you want to line up your seam on your cuff with the seam here on your stocking. You want to start together the seam with the stocking with the cuff. Then you want to add back your white yarn or whatever you're using for your cuff, and you want to start at the seam stitch with a slip stitch and a chain 1. So I've already gotten to that point. Now what you want to do at this point is you want to single or place the cuff over the stocking, which is what I have here. Just pull it over and place it once you've lined it up, and you'll chain your 1, and then you'll start working at the beginning stitch, the first stitch after the seam. So you'll fold this down and you'll find your seam. Okay, my seam is right in here, and you're just going to have to do the best that you can with that, because I know it's going to be a little difficult, but my seam is right here, so I'm going to start right here in this stitch. It says to start in the stitch afterwards, okay, after the seam. So you're going to work 21 single crochet through both layers. So you want to take your hook and go through the white and through the red and work a single crochet. So you'll do that for the next 21 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Okay, and now what you're going to do is in the next single crochet on the cuff only, you're just going to single crochet through the cuff. Okay? And then you're going to single crochet in the next 21 stitches through all of both layers. Okay? So find that stitch and go into the next stitch as well with the red and count 21. Okay, so you'll do that all the way around, and then you'll end up with one last stitch with the cuff only. Single crochet in that, and then you'll join and fasten off, and I'll meet you around. Okay guys, we have attached very successfully our cuff, and it looks beautiful. Now for the final step, we are going to put our top border that's going to match our bottom border. So we're going to work the top just like we did the bottom. So you want to add back your white or whatever top that you used for your color. You're going to start at your seam mark, and you are going to add to the seam here with a slip stitch, chain 1, and you're going to single crochet into that same stitch. Okay, and then you're going to single crochet into that next stitch as well. Okay, you're going to skip the next stitch, and then you're going to do a double crochet in the next, chain 1, and double crochet all in the next stitch. Okay, skip the next stitch, single in the next, skip the next stitch, and do your double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet in the next. And you're just going to work that around now. So skip the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next, and double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next. And that's how you're going to finish this. So just keep on working that around. And so basically for this cluster, not a cluster, but it's a double crochet V stitch basically is what you're working there. And then you're just skipping one and doing that single crochet. So you're just basically making like a little scallop edge on it here. And this one's not going to fold down, it's just going to stand up top here and just going to give it a little bit of an elevated look. And again, you can make this out of whatever type of yarn you would like. And because I wanted to make it for Rico, my dog, I wanted to make it, let's see, last, so he is going to enjoy this. And I think I'm probably going to glitter his name across. And I'm not going to worry too much about the little holes down here where the green is at, because he doesn't get small stuff in his stocking at Christmas. And yes, he gets a stocking of stuff from Santa Claus, as do the cats. Of course, this will be their first Christmas with us. So we're almost finished going around. Single crochet here, and then your last one, just like before, you should end up with your double crochet V stitch and join in the top of that beginning chain 1. You want to finish off, and if you haven't done so, make sure to go back and weave in all those ends and hide those real good. And I have plenty of glue and glitter, so we will have fun glittering his name on here. Just in time for the holidays. Okay, so let's back this up a bit. And you have your completed holiday stocking. And it is just beautiful. Voila. I love it. And that's the little hole that I was talking about, but it's not a big deal to me, so if you choose to close it up, that is totally up to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and you can embellish, change colors, do whatever you would like with this. It's very versatile, so have fun with this pattern, use your imagination, and thank you very much for joining me back. And happy holidays, and stick with me because I have more holiday videos to come. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy hooking!